Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Girls Unscripted. You are here. You are on the ground floor of something new and fresh and young, like us.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Kate.
You know the song started from the bottom, now we here?
Yeah.
This is the bottom. And you're here. Welcome.
You mean us doing a podcast on a couch in a pool house?
It's like a new thing.
No
one's ever heard of it. My name's Kate.
My name's Carolyn.
And this is episode 1. We'll get used to it. Like I said, it's ground floor. It's ground floor. It's ground floor.
I think we're in the basement.
So we decided to start this podcast because we are two girls who love reality TV, specifically
Vanderpump Rules.
So we are going to do a recap every week. And not only are we going to recap, we're going to tell our opinions, our theories. We're just going to gab about the episode.
Gab.
I want to give a shout out to my friend Jake for doing our theme music. His name is Jakey Heartbreak on Spotify. So thank you, Jake.
It's so great. Thank you, Jake.
Go listen to him on Spotify. Okay, so there was a drinking game that I wish I would have played while we were watching this episode.
Okay, hit me.
So it's two things. One, I wish it was drink every time they show a flashback. Because
okay, yes.
You would be in the hospital.
Yep.
I think they showed 47 flashbacks.
I think they only showed 3 minutes of new footage. It was mainly
You know what? It took me 45 minutes to realize Sandoval wasn't even in the episode because he was in every flashback.
Yeah.
So.
And before you knew it, episode's done. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was wondering why it was one of my favorite episodes. Just kidding. And the second one is drink every time sad music starts and we cut to a talking head interview of Lala telling a story and crying. She did warn us. I've heard her say, like, I cry a lot this season. I'm going to be crying a lot. But every single interview, she was crying about something.
We're going to get to Lala.
We'll get to Lala. But that is a drinking game that I think would have also put me on my ass.
Yeah, no, you would have to get an Uber for sure.
So we're going to do this chronologically.
One thing I did want to say about the intro is, like, God bless them for acknowledging that no one works at the damn restaurant anymore. No one works there. That is not part of any plot line. They're not trying to make it part of any plot line. They all not work in their, like, own separate places, which is cool.
Right.
So that was my note. I liked that they went around and did the WeHo to Schwartz and James.
I was getting a bit of a whiplash from going from like Valley Village, Marina Del Rey, West Hollywood, Burbank.
So many.
Like if you are from LA, you know that round trip would be about 4 hours.
That would take forever.
I'm not even
to
kidding.
Drive. You would never do that.
What I noticed is I think this is one of, if not our smallest main cast since at least season 1.
They trimmed the fat.
There's no one,
which is great. Like we don't. No offense, Charlie's.
We don't need it.
Like we don't need those.
Well, and even like I'm glad that they didn't put Allie or Brock as like main. I know that they're like kind of, but
I think Allie's gonna get there.
To me, main cast is who is in the theme song.
Yeah, same.
Which also leads me to, and I actually just made it
payroll wise, that's the main cast.
Right. I also just made a TikTok about this as well. Is there's no cast photo at the end of the theme songs anymore.
I bet they couldn't even get together to do it.
Well, they didn't do it last season either.
Oh.
And I don't know why. I don't know. I miss that there's not a cast photo because remember all the random ass people that would be in the cast photos?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. And this is like not a main talking point, but do you have any notes about Tom and Ariana's bedrooms?
Well, I wanted to give Tom the benefit of the doubt that like that was the guest bedroom. So I don't know how much he's like had to. I did notice the weighted blanket, which I was like, hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big weighted blanket
No,
girl.
you know that Tom Sandoval is the type of guy that like he would bring you home from a bar and he would have a bed on the floor without a bed frame.
Oh, I definitely gave
like one poster on the wall.
Totally.
And an Xbox.
Yeah. But I mean, there was just a bed and a weighted blanket.
That
I don't
was
think
literally
there was
his
much
room.
else.
Ariana's room was pretty messy too. My mom actually texted me, and I wrote it down so I don't remember. She said, "I was appalled at how fucking gross Ariana's bedroom was."
They are both messy. That doesn't surprise me though.
Their downstairs is nice.
Yeah, their downstairs is nice,
and they've still got photos of the two of them.
And does a great job. Is that her name?
And I got questions about Anne. Well, okay, this is a little inside tea. It's not really inside tea because they said it on Bio Files. Anne resigned.
Well, I would too.
Yeah. We're just going chronologically. Let's talk about Brock and Sheena. I'm going to start by saying this. Brock is, and look at me when I say this, because I mean this shit. Brock is so much hotter with short hair. He looks like a different person.
It takes him from like, it
a 5 to a 6?
A 5 to a 6.
No, I think maybe a
sure.
5 to a 7. I wanted to talk about how when Sheena's talking about like how Tom Sandoval's friend passed away, she goes like, I think I even wrote down when she said, because it just made me laugh. She was like, yeah, he was like a great friend. He loved to do hangouts. He loved barbecues. He was big on brisket.
I wrote that down too.
She really
The emphasis
emphasized.
on
What the fuck
brisket.
was that about? How much brisket did this man make for them?
I have questions about it. I also, like, rest in peace. I wish I could have had a chance to try it.
I thought the same thing. I was like, I am never going to get to try this man's brisket.
This man should have opened a brisket shop. I don't know why. He might have had one. We didn't really learn a lot. I remember when he died and being like, that was so soon after everything had happened.
Yeah, I do remember that. Well, you know what a missed opportunity may be is, I mean, it's Tom's friend. It's not Ariana's friend. I'm sure they were both friends. But for something about her, I think his name was Ali,
Yeah.
to make an Ollie's brisket sandwich. If something about her made an Ollie's brisket sandwich in honor of not only this man Ali, but Sheena emphasizing the love he had for brisket.
Brilliant.
That'd be a top seller.
Brilliant. Use what you got.
Also, so Sheena was obviously up in arms about Tom Sandoval blocking Summer Moon.
That was my note as well.
My friend told me that if you block one account, all accounts linked to that person, it will say like, do you want to block all accounts linked to them? So if Sheena also created shenanigans in Summer Moon, he probably just clicked yes.
Is that how blocking works? I
That's
haven't
what
blocked
my
someone in
friend
a long
said.
time.
I don't know that I've ever blocked someone.
Oh, man, Katie, you haven't lived.
Well, when this podcast takes off and you all start giving me hate comments, I'm going to learn how
You're
to
gonna
block.
learn how to do that real quick. I thought it was hilarious, but that also makes a lot of sense. I also wouldn't put it past Tom Sandoval to like just go straight,
No, neither
straight
would
to
I.
the kid
And the
be
thought
like,
of
nah,
him, I know you didn't
not
watch,
her either.
You didn't watch the Watch What Happens Live, but Andy like just made a comment and he didn't even mean to be funny with it, but he was like, yeah, because Sandoval blocked a toddler. I'm like, that is so funny. That is actually such a funny sentence. Because Sandoval would be like, you know what, dude, like Summer Moon like looked at me the wrong way at the barbecue and like, I don't know, like she was in my house. I invited her to my house, dude. All right, so James and Tom.
Friends?
I love their bromance, but here's the thing. They are the only two men on that show. So they don't have a choice but to be friends with each other.
I actually wrote down, are they friends? Question mark. I had no idea they were friends. I thought they fought a lot.
When we saw them at that like one-on-one dinner, it did feel off like they don't hang
do
out.
that.
They're
They're not texting each other like, bro, you want to go grab a bite.
But maybe James has changed since he's moved to the Valley. Who's to say?
That's true.
I did think it was sweet that Tom bought him a plant and a candle, even though James, do you remember James called it citrus piss?
I don't remember that. That sounds
He said it like 4 times, and Tom was kind of like, okay, dude, I get it. But James did say something to Tom that honestly, like, kind of gave me chills. He said to him, you're your best Tom when you're not Tom. And I was just like, wow.
That chills, y'all.
Because
I don't
it's
know about
true.
you.
It's true.
So true. It is so true.
Tom is its own thing.
Yeah.
Like there's Tom, and then there's Tom.
It's almost like it's a character. Like
Yes.
it's like Stephen Colbert. Like it's its thing.
Yes.
And outside of it, Tom is his own person. My husband was like, Tom's using big words. He's like, is Tom smart? I was like, he's not an idiot. He might look like one.
Right.
And he might present like that, but he's not a dumb
He presents
guy.
as an idiot
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
does.
But yeah, he is smart, and he has lived I know he met Sandoval when he was super young, but he still lived like 22 years without Sandoval. Like,
It sounds like in real life, they're not always best friends.
Yeah.
It sounds like they have their separate things, and like Tom is what clings them together.
I also wrote down that I hate that I love James. I never thought, not only did I never think I would like James Kennedy, I thought he looked kind of cute last episode.
Wow.
I thought he looked kind of cute. And my mom texted me and she said he looked like a young Jude Law.
Wow.
And I agree.
If you were 23-year-old back in LA and you saw James Kennedy DJing, would you pursue that? Pursue is a strong word. you're not aggressive like
No,
that.
no, no,
but
no,
like,
no, no, no.
if he came on to you, would you be into it?
Yes. I hate when people are like, you know, looks don't matter. It's all about personality. Looks matter a little bit.
Right.
And I think that if he looked like how he looks now and he pursued me, I would entertain it. But when his personality, if he was like outgoing and fun and whatever, I would definitely like be like, I want to go on a date with this guy and see what he's all about.
I get the spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I understand Allie being with James, today James. Now Raquel getting with Lil Scrawny James.
I mean, that's
a different story.
a
different
fan
James.
Follow.
That was a
situation.
different James.
That was a different James, exactly.
I could do a whole episode on just dissecting James, because you know what we don't talk about enough, and we don't need to get into it now. But James and Logan, remember that?
Brushed under the rug.
It was talked about in one episode, and then we just act like it didn't happen.
That just shows the genius of this show, that plot line was just a side thought.
They were like, this isn't the biggest deal right now.
Oh, and by the way, like, Logan and James might be fucking, but here's everything else that's happening.
Well, yeah, it also proves that back then, aka the heyday of Vanderpump Rules, there was just so much other shit going on. That was just crazy. I think Logan's gonna be on this season. I've seen it in some clips.
Oh.
Yeah. Next, I don't really have much to say about this, but I just wrote Ariana and Dan, 10 days after Sandoval broke. 10 days.
Okay. His name is Dan?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I love you, Ariana. You would be crazy not to be like a little bit of a red flag.
So I have a similar thing that happened. I, as you know, had a boyfriend and we dated for over 6 years, and it was like a bad breakup. And I met my current boyfriend like a month and a half after that. Coincidentally, also named Dan. But
also, I didn't want to go open the thing. Also, it's 6 weeks. I mean, 10 days and 6 weeks are very different.
But with me, I had enough wherewithal to be like, oh, this is like still fresh.
Yeah.
I'll like hang out with you, but I cannot be your girlfriend. We did not become boyfriend or girlfriend for like a year and a half after that.
And Ariana's so like put together that I'm surprised she even allowed herself to like fall into love so quickly.
And she's,
but good for her. I'm glad she's happy.
She probably needed it. I do think, and it's like, I don't want to call him a rebound because he's obviously not, because they're still together, but like, I do believe in rebounds. I think rebounds are important. I think it helps you get over.
And rebounds can stick too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an or, it's an and.
Someone could, I'm trying to do a basketball analogy.
Oh my God, please no, please just try.
If you get the rebound, it could go right in immediately after.
Yeah, you could pop it right back up.
And it could be a shot.
And it could, exactly. Is that what we're thinking?
Maybe even a 3-pointer. If it's a
the
really far rebound. Think about it.
God, I love sports so
much. Think about it. But yeah, I mean, I know I wasn't healed, and I know my relationship suffered a little bit because of like internal shit I had going on up here that I needed to sort out. I can't imagine there are not issues in that relationship.
I want to know a few more details. Like, okay, they met 10 to 11 days.
Yeah, good point.
When did they kind of make this concrete? Because I'm sure up top she was like, look, I'm getting out of this very messy big thing. Point. And then I'm sure they had conversations about it. They're out of the honeymoon phase probably around now, and we'll see what happens.
You know what I do like about him? I do feel that he kind of stays in the back burner.
And I hope that's legitimate, because otherwise, outside looking in, 10 days after, personal trainer in New York, you could argue he has a lot to gain.
He's a personal trainer? I thought he was a bartender.
I think it's both, maybe.
Oh.
Personal trainer and bartender.
She loves a bartender.
She loves a personal trainer. I think they're all into like the health shit.
I did just recently see, because she did her first like Chicago show.
Yes.
And when she exited the stage, it did make me happy to see, like, you know how when everyone like finishes on Broadway, they go outside and everyone's on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
They're like, ah.
Yeah.
Well, it was her, and then like 10 paces behind her was her boyfriend Dan. And I watched that video and I thought to myself, like, if that were Sandoval, Ariana would have been over here and Sandoval would have been over here, and Sandoval would have been signing autographs right next to Ariana.
He would have eaten that up as his own time.
Yes.
That's very true. Well, I mean, everything, obviously.
He would have been like...
Any situation with Sandoval would be worse.
I can't even get into it. He would want a fucking spot on Chicago.
He would be pissed that he wasn't on Chicago. No. He'd be pissed they wouldn't make one of like Roxy Hart a girl.
Oh
I mean, a guy,
my God.
or like let him do drag, or like he would be
he
upset about
loves
something,
drag.
and he loves drag. That's what he.
Yeah, we're gonna give him an idea now. We better calm down because he's
I
gonna.
know.
Because I know
Sorry,
he's
Tom.
gonna listen to this, obviously.
Oh my God, it's Ariana, and then he's the next.
And he's like,
6
wait a
weeks.
second. Wait a damn
I would
second.
fly to New York to both shows and compare. No, sorry, I don't want to get.
They're gonna make the witch in Wicked a man, and it's going to be Tom Sandoval.
Alpha Burr.
That's how much I don't know Broadway, that I was literally sitting here stewing, like trying to think of like who was the
Another
female lead, who was
show?
the female lead, who was the female lead, and I came up with the witch in
Alphaba.
Wicked.
Yeah,
That's her name.
that's her name.
Schwartz and Alphabuzz. The newest hot bar in Franklin
Defying
Village.
gravity.
Schwartz and Alphabuzz.
He would love that. Okay, moving on.
Moving
Sorry, we got
on. No,
sidetracked.
it's fine. Well, what I want to talk about next is a lot. Well, basically my next thing
Are we at
is
the den now?
Tom Tom.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Basically, the notes that I wrote down during this the whole time are like all in caps, and they're essentially like, okay, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? One, when they did this whole Tom Tom scene, them entering Tom Tom, them leaving Tom Tom. One, I felt like I was watching a music video. Second, I feel like there should have been a warning. If you have epilepsy, look away, because there was so much like flashing, and I was like what's happening? And then three, they fucking pulled at my heartstrings a little bit with all the flashbacks with like Katie and Ariana walking in, and then all the times that Ariana had with Tom and Tom Tom. Like, it was an emotional roller coaster I did not expect to be having at Tom Tom.
There was a lot of emotion packed into a very short period of time. I mean, that's when you look back at Tom and Ariana, like they were in love.
That is exactly why there's so many people that's like, I don't understand why Sandoval is a big deal, blah, blah, blah. It's like, because you watch things like that and those flashbacks that they did, like, they were essentially like reality TV couple goals.
Yeah.
And watching that, just, it made me really sad. And not only watching the scenes between Tom and Ariana, watching the side-by-side of Ariana and Katie walking into Tom Tom single, and then while they were with Tom and Tom, like, that made me sad because like they were just so like young and hopeful. And I remember, I think it was Katie talking about Tom Tom, like, this is gonna be our peach pit, like this is where we're all gonna hang out, we're all gonna be friends. And they just had such an idea of what their lives were gonna be.
But I'm so proud of Ariana for going.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I totally get it. We've all had bad breakups where there are places that are off limits. You know what would be off limits? The restaurant and bar that was built with my ex's name on it. Like, I would not want to go there, especially with all the, like, the drama of what happened there last time. I also wrote here, I do think the flashback with her and Katie is also really beautiful in a way, because it goes to show you guys can come and go, but your girlfriends will always be there. If they're good girlfriends.
So true. That is so true. I didn't even think about that.
And I was like, here we are, all these years later. They both have gone through horrendous breakups with their partners. And they're still together, and they're in business together, and they're closer than they ever were back then.
I do think the love story of this season is Katie and Ariana. 100%. And it does go to show, because Sandoval or Schwartz always loved Ariana. Ariana was a fucking groomsman in his wedding. It goes to show that Sandoval was the one, and Ariana says this later in the episode, that like, you should be weary of Katie.
Don't be friends with Katie.
And Ariana said, like, I've always wanted to be closer to Katie. Like, they do seem so similar.
Yeah, they really do.
And I've never realized it until
this season. I totally agree.
They're so alike. It seems like they like the same things. Like, they're both edgy and cool, but fun. Like, but yeah, when they did that flashback between Ariana and Tom, it made me feel like someone died.
Here's the thing. It also made me realize any relationship, if it's been for how long was theirs, 10, 11 years, there are going to be some fantastic fucking memories, or else you wouldn't be in a 10-year relationship.
Fair.
For everyone, for anyone, all of us listening to this podcast, you and me could have montages of guys we dated in the past, and we would get a little emotional about them. Because in the moment,
there were good parts.
And those were great memories, and there's a reason we dated them. But just shows life goes on, and things can change, and that's okay.
That's why when you like break up with someone and you like, if you like start to miss them, your friends are always like, you're probably just thinking of the good parts. Like, don't forget about the bad parts, because they don't make montages of bad parts.
They don't.
They don't ever make montages of bad parts.
They don't.
They don't put sad music and put it in black and white with the bad parts.
Especially in our brains. We are not making a sad montage.
No.
We are thinking of
We're thinking of the one time they held the door for us, and that is the main focus of our montage.
It's all just that one door hold carrying the season.
He helped, but he used to hold the door
used-
for me. I kind of put all of my Lala notes into one.
Okay.
So I know at Tom Tom is when she reached out to Raquel. And originally I thought that was fake. And then I forgot that Raquel actually did say on Bethany's podcast, like,
Oh, you didn't think that was a real voice memo?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was manufactured. I feel like a lot of that Tom Tom scene didn't feel real to me. It felt like I was watching fucking Euphoria, the way they edited that shit.
Well, and
Good God.
I just wanted to like give an honorable shout out to the OG back alley, because the back alley of Tom Tom is not the back alley of Sir.
So
it felt
true.
weird being in a different back alley for me. I don't know. It was like
Wow, Carolyn.
We've been here before, but we're not.
I never put the two back alleys together. You're right. Like,
I mean, they're trying to take us to like the different back
no,
scenes.
you're right.
But it's where's the crusty table?
My friends who I watched with made a good point where they were like, I wonder, or maybe it was you. No, I think it was my friends. They were like, you are my friend.
You know, it's
But
just
my other
slight
friends,
difference.
shout out to Christy and Jess, they are the ones who got me into Vanderpump Rules. They were like, I wonder if they're going to make Peter more of a prominent character since he's literally the only one that works at Sir.
No.
But Raquel said on Rachel Goes Rogue, because I do listen, because I just have an issue. I have a problem. I don't know why I listen, but I do. I just need to know everything. She said that Peter still gets paid an episodic rate. Like, you know how Sandoval and Katie, like, they actually think it's Sandoval, Katie, and Sheena are the only three. They make the most of everyone because they've been main cast since season 1. I think crazy. Peter also falls into that category, but maybe only if he's in an episode.
Yeah.
But think about it. If I were Lisa, I would want Peter to get paid that well too. He's the only person that still works at Sir.
He's the only link we have now.
And think about all like the stories you hear of people, of like girls going to Sir. Like, I mean, you're not on the Reddit, but oh my God, it's every day someone's posting a picture. Oh, I met Peter at Sir. Peter's like, they go to Sir
I
to
know
see
that Peter is like the one that will always actually be there. Like if you're in LA and want to go to Sir to see Peter, you could do that.
I thought Tom doing his little like puppy dog thing to try and talk to Ariana, like, hey Ariana, was a bit weird. Like, say hi one time, she doesn't want to talk to you. She's made it clear she doesn't want to talk to you. She made it so clear, in fact, that she texted him and said, go choke on Sandoval's dirty dick. And he's still going up to her, Tom, like, hey Ariana, do you need anything? Oh, hey Ariana. Like, dude, she doesn't want to talk to you.
That's his shtick. Do you remember when he would do social media posts where he'd be like showing his eyes and be like, hey guys, I'm scared of you.
Oh, you're so right.
I'm so scared of you. Like, that's his bit, I think.
But the thing is it kind of works.
It kind of
me.
works. He's kind of charming.
Cute. He knows what he's doing. I think he is the smartest of them all.
I think he will get back into good graces with Ariana.
Yeah.
Maybe if he still is up Tom's butthole, I don't know.
Go choke on Sandoval's dirty dick. It was funny. My mom actually sent me a meme. She was like, this is one of the best moments. And it says, because it went from Ariana going, I don't remember exactly what I said to Schwartz, but I don't think it was that bad. And then Schwartz going, it says, fuck you, blocking your number. Go choke on Sandoval's dirty ass dick somewhere. I do think what we can bring to this podcast is the fact that we are LA girls. And I want to say, I went to the Den last Saturday.
Nice.
This is where they had their final scene of the 4 girls. It was at the Den. There was not one person in there.
I was going to say, I mean, when I was younger, I was at the Den
all the time.
Every weekend.
Love the Den.
Went even like 2 years ago with friends. It was crickets.
No
one there. I was also like, is it because, were you there late enough? I was like, maybe it was because I was there for
I was
dinner.
there at midnight.
Really?
I was there at midnight. Well, okay, it's
was
funny.
Was it a weekend?
It's Saturday.
Damn.
It's funny you say that because I thought maybe it's more crowded for dinner than it is at night.
Interesting. No.
So I looked at that scene and I looked at everyone in the background and I just couldn't help but think these are background actors.
Do you think they hired them?
Yeah, I do.
I just stopped going because I felt like I was too old for it, but not for these ladies.
Well, they got
and
kids and they're going to the Den.
So yeah, so.
Only Lala, this is her Den outfit, would wear a backwards hat and blazer. and have me not even question it. And have me be like, this kind of works for you.
I'm obsessed with
Like she has this beautiful outfit on and she looks so classy and she looks good. She's like, you know what, look good with this? A backwards hat, a snapback, if you will, from a sports team that I know nothing about.
I love Lala. I
love Lala.
I do think she's in a really dark place this
Yes.
season. And she's alone and she thought she'd be in a big mansion and she's not.
Right.
And I don't know. I think she's in a spiral at this moment.
I also think that Lala is still so traumatized by Randall. And for us, it's easy for us to be like, oh, she needs to stop talking about this, whatever. Like people that are over it. But like, it really didn't happen that long ago.
Yeah.
But it was so overshadowed by Sandoval that like we all just kind of forgot about it. And COVID. And it's like, not only, and I guess the thing is like people could have assumed, yes, Randall was a bad guy from the beginning. Like with Tom, that was like shocking, whatever. But like I read Lala's book. She talks a lot about Randall in the book. They're together when she wrote this book. And he was like her savior. And she genuinely, from what I could tell, really loved him. And
I believe that.
And you're right. She had this idea of what her life would be. And it isn't that. And it's not even so much a breakup. It's just that it's hard when you're 31 years old and your life completely changes to be able to put those puzzle pieces back together with a toddler. Mm-hmm. In this part, they talk about so much during this last scene. I have a note, and it says that I normally try and ride for Sheena. I do. I don't know what it is about me, but there's something about Sheena. I feel like I'm always trying to stick up for her. I like Sheena because, and I've said this to you before, I think she is consistent. I think she has been the same throughout this whole series. Mm-hmm. Sheena has always been Sheena, and she has never changed, and I gotta respect that. So I always try and ride for Sheena. But she could not have sounded more selfish when she said, and I'm not saying it verbatim, but she was like, you know, I could have understood if Raquel just fell in love with Sandoval and like ruined Sandoval and Ariana's relationship.
Oh, this is shocking.
But when she filed a restraining order against me is when I lost it. It's like, so you could have handled the fact that this girl tore up your so-called best friend's life, but it was a restraining order that set you over the edge.
I think that's foreshadowing of what's to come this season, I think.
Granted, I've learned a lot about this so-called restraining order because I listened to Rachel Goes Rogue. And according to Rachel, the restraining order was never meant to be made public. Oh. She said she filed that restraining order so that if Sheena were to come back and say, Rachel tried to push me, Rachel tried to hit me, whatever, that would have already been filed and they would have been like, actually, this is on court record, blah, blah, blah. But TMZ, now granted, take it with a grain of salt. Right, I don't know what's true, what's not. TMZ is the one that dug it up and released it. And I do know that restraining order ruined, and Raquel says this in her podcast, like, fucked with Sheena a lot because Brock has charges against him. Domestic violence stuff.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That's what Rachel said. And then now Sheena has charges against her. And I'm sure she was worried that something was going to happen with Summer Moon.
10 seconds segue. Do you think Sheena punched
Yes.
Raquel? Okay, great. We're on the same page about that.
Well, actually, I feel Sheena when she says she can't make a fist. Because we've all had long nails and she always has long nails. But I think she
That's exactly what I think. It's
like a cat.
It's not an or situation. It's an and. I think she did this.
Yeah. I don't think it was
nail scratched.
Yeah.
And punching and whatever it was are two different things.
Yeah. I think she did this. I think she had rings on. I think that's what created like the little scratch.
Yeah.
Because there was a scratch.
There was a scratch. I rewatched it last night. I mean, there was. Unless she did that to herself, which she may have. We don't know.
I don't know.
I think a lot of Lala's actions in this episode didn't feel organic. The conversation she has with Lisa does feel, as a viewer, out of nowhere. Because the last time we saw Lala, she was ready to scratch out the skin of anyone that had anything to do with Tom Sandoval.
Right.
And to do such a 180 is interesting. I do understand her point, but she's not known to just change her points of view that drastically.
I believe she wanted to reach out to Raquel. I believe that they forced her to do it on camera, whatever.
Back alley.
I think the comparison between Lala reaching out to Raquel versus people like reaching out to Randall is not the same thing at all. And I don't know if that is a hot take, but I don't know. I don't even know why that's a comparison. Like, it's not like she reached out to Sandoval. Right. It would almost be like if Randall, let's say Randall cheated on Lala with Jennifer Lawrence, and Jennifer Lawrence was getting all this hate. And Katie Maloney reached out to Jennifer Lawrence and was like, girl, I've been in your shoes. I get it. Like, just don't let it bother you. Do you think Lala would be mad at that? Maybe, because she's Lala. But it's Randall that's the one at fault. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's Sandoval that's the one at fault. Like, we should, like, Sandoval and Randall are the comparison, not Raquel and Randall. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just not the same thing.
That's very true.
Also, further proof, I mean, Lala was and maybe still is good friends with Randall's ex. Like, I do think that she tries her best to be on the girl's side. Yeah.
I think it's different because this group of girls is like so close, and especially this has brought them all so close together that she feels like it might be a different level of betrayal, or Ariana might see as a different level of betrayal. But I will say, in the moment, Ariana didn't make it seem like a level of betrayal. Like, she was very cool about it. Wait, can we also back up to Lala's awkward moment of like, I feel like you hate me? When she was talking to that, it was such a weird moment. She cried.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't love that moment. And here's
that's
why.
What makes me think she's in a dark place.
I didn't love it because if I were Ariana, I'd be like, you were kind of a bitch to me. Like, remember that
fights
scene?
Are wild.
Yeah, where Lala's like, you think you're so fucking cool. And then Ariana was like, I was born cool. But like, Lala starts a lot of that. So like, if I were Ariana, I probably would say, like, if Lala was like, do you hate me? I'd probably be like, well, I don't love you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's valid.
I do not hate you.
I wouldn't say I hate you, but I'm not like your biggest fan because you're not mine.
Right. Although she could argue, well, during this separation, I've been your biggest fan. I created a clothing line with the phrase.
Well, is that being Ariana's biggest fan, or is that being Tom's biggest hater? Like, there is a difference. There's a difference between being Ariana's biggest fan and a Tom hater. Like, I'm trying to think. I think Katie Maloney, Ariana's biggest fan. Yeah. I think Sheena and Lala and Kristen Doty, just based off of their podcast, have been a bigger Tom hater than an Ariana fan. Yeah. I have a list of overall thoughts.
Okay.
First is, it's sort of hard to hear about the sandwich shop knowing that motherfucking thing is still not open. And I watch it and I'm kind of like, why do I care? Why do I care to hear anything about the sandwich shop?
I don't think it'll ever open.
You don't?
I don't think it'll ever open.
I don't think they need it anymore. They came up with the idea of this sandwich shop when they were both like bored housewives in the valley not doing anything. Yeah. And their husbands and boyfriends were off with 2 restaurants, like doing shit. And they probably were like, well, we want to do something. So they created this sandwich shop. And now all this shit has happened. Ariana is on Broadway, Dancing with the Stars, doing 48 commercials a day. Mm-hmm. And Katie, not necessarily is doing quite as much, but has this podcast, is dating, is going out. Like, I do think the sandwich shop is maybe more Katie's baby than Ariana's.
It's not what it was when they thought of this idea for the sandwich shop.
100% no.
It's completely different now.
And I don't hate that. Yeah. But it's just not.
Because, I mean, that was years ago. Yeah, they've been talking about the sandwich shop for years.
Yeah. My next overall thought is that I do, and I think Schwartz talks about this bit in the episode, I do feel bad about all the backlash that Schwartz and Sandy's got.
What do you think about Schwartz and Sandy's personally?
Well, let me tell you a story.
Okay.
So I've been to Schwartz and Sandy's. Mm-hmm. And I went last spring-ish, right when it opened. And you had to make a reservation like 2 months in advance because everyone wanted to go to Schwartz and Sandy's. So we had this reservation made for like 2 months, right? The day that our reservation was, Friday, was the day that Sandoval broke. So Sandoval broke, and 5 hours later, I was checking into my reservation at Schwartz and Sandy's.
Did you get like the waiters were saying something, or what was your experience again?
So I go to Schwartz and Sandy's, obviously with all Vanderpump rule girlies that are fans.
Oh, you had the golden ticket.
And we sat in a booth and whatever.
Front row seats.
We had a waitress that just
Yes. Okay,
No,
I remember this
absolutely
now.
no filter. I never fucking like Sandoval. Ariana, she's cool. I hope Ariana becomes a lesbian and just fucks a bunch of girls because she never fucking liked that. Like, she just went off and off and off and off. She was like, Schwartz is cool, but Sandoval sucks. And, you know, she did say, she was like, when we have fans here and they want photos, they'll ask the servers, like, hey, do you think we could get a photo with Schwartz, with Sandoval, whatever? And she was like, Schwartz was always cool to take a photo. And anytime you'd ask Sandoval, he'd be like, oh, who is it? I'm really busy right now. Which I don't know that I believe that, because Sandoval just like loves any type of attention.
But I think he also likes the attention of being told that
Of
he
being
has
like,
attention
"Oh,
and
I'm
that he
so
has to like
famous."
disregard it because he's so busy.
Yeah, so she spilled a lot of tea, and my review of Schwartz and Sandy's was, it just was a bit overpriced for what it was. Tom Tom is probably similar prices, but Tom Tom is just really good. Like, the food is good, the drinks are good. There's always people in there. It's huge. Have you been to Tom Tom?
I've been to Tom Tom, but my note was gonna be it was too small for me. Do they have like a back patio?
Were you
now?
there
It
when
was
both
like,
sides were open?
No. I went there when like it just opened.
Oh no, they got both sides open.
Oh, okay.
It's I think it's quite spacious. Schwartz and Sandy's, it's like $20 for a cocktail that has like a gummy shark in it.
Yeah.
But look,
Look,
I'd go back.
We're not food critics.
And I gotta give it to Schwartz. He's always there. Schwartz is single-handedly keeping that place alive, posting on Instagram like, gonna be at Schwartz and Sandy's tonight. Come and see me. It also kind of sucks that we already know that Raquel is not going to return to the show, because they're kind of setting it up as if she is. Basically, it sucks. It's great. It's a blessing and a curse that we know as much as we know.
You want to know my prediction now?
Yes.
I think it's going to be like a Sandoval situation where there's going to be like an extra back 2 episodes and she shows up. I don't think she's going to stay away from the spotlight that long. Like, she's already creeping back out with the podcast.
Or at
giving
least do
her
like an
side,
interview.
do an interview with them or something. We have not seen the last of her.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Although her interview with Bethany Frankel, I thought might have ended her at Bravo, but she's fine.
No, she's fine.
She's fine.
Yeah, I just feel like it's like we know where Tom and Ariana stand with the house. So it's like when I hear about their house shit, I'm like, I don't need to hear about this. I already know.
Yeah.
He's trying to buy her out, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, it does just make it kind of hard to watch because we have so much information already.
Should Ariana let Tom buy her out for the house?
Well, I heard on Vile Files,
Oh, God.
because I've been listening, they bought the house for $2 million and Tom tried to buy her out for $3.1 million.
Interesting.
I think she just needs to give it to him and
leave?
go away.
I get the point, though. You know? Like, I also would be like, you ruined my life. And you get to stay here in the house that, like, you fucked her in and you did all this stuff in. And I have to move elsewhere. I think getting it over with sooner rather than later is
Right.
probably the best course of action.
Okay, my last question I want to ask you, because I don't know if we will hear much about her in other episodes.
Oh, my God.
Do you think you could handle being Tom Sandoval's assistant?
Anne.
Anne.
Sweet Anne.
She seems sweet.
She's so sweet.
From the 1 second clip we've seen of her.
I could absolutely be the assistant because I've been an assistant to like other high maintenance people and it's been totally fine. This would have been a challenge for sure.
I wouldn't want to tell anybody what my occupation was.
Because it's awkward as fuck. And I wouldn't want to tell anybody about it because it just, the amount of NDAs I'm sure she signed is a lot too. I don't know.
Oh my God. Anne would be talking. You think about all these like
Anne
Stassi's
at a
podcast,
bar.
Kristen's podcast, Sheena's podcast, Jeff Lewis, fucking Ryan Bailey, Bravo by Gays, Bravo Bros. They're all gonna want Anne on their fucking podcast. Like, please just tell us everything about Sandoval.
So basically I'm saying, yes, I could take, basically I'm thinking Sandoval. I'm thinking Sandoval's the nightmare. I could be wrong in this, but I imagine Sandoval's the nightmare and Ariana's nicer. But having them both would be a challenge.
Oh my God. It
Probably
would
not.
fuck with me mentally so much. I feel like it would be like, if I were Sandoval's assistant, I would be like, well, he's paying me and I have to like appease him.
Oh, yeah.
But inside I'd be like, but I like Ariana so much more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like I felt that when they showed the text chain and Ariana was like, can you please tell him to turn off the lights? And she said, he said it's freedom of speech or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Just her saying he said.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how you know it's ridiculous. Like,
Oh, well, that's how you would have to do it.
Yeah, like
It would
you're
just have
the
to be
middleman.
business. It's like my job is to say what he said to her and what she said to him.
We want you guys to be a part of the conversation. So every week we are going to post a question or questions on our Instagram, and we want to see a conversation in the comments. We want to hear everybody's opinions because everybody has one.
Everyone, like assholes, everyone has one.
Exactly. Like it's like you look at us and you're like, look at these two girls starting a podcast. Like, I could say X, Y, and Z. Then say it. Like I on my TikTok, if you guys follow me on TikTok, I have said this. I look at every single comment. I like to hear everyone's 2 cents. That's why I'm always on the Reddit too.
Yeah.
So we want to pose these questions that like we have while we're talking to you guys. So follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Girls Unscripted Pod. Talk to us in the comments. We want to hear it.
Give us a shout out.
All right, so that was our first episode. I feel like we did fine.
We did fine. We went all over the place.
How should we outro?
I have no idea. I liked the idea of ending with an ASMR of some quote.
Ooh.
But I don't know which
Carolyn
quote
is
to
the
do.
queen of quotes. Oh yeah, because you wanted to do okay, when people start to like us, Carolyn wants us to reenact scenes. And I do love that idea. Okay, let's ASMR this.
I'll start.
Do you want to be Ariana or Tom?
Oh, okay. I'll be Tom.
Okay, wait, I'll put it right here.
Okay.
All right, so you'll be Tom.
If you're going to sleep, just get in a relaxing position.
So we are going to ASMR a quote/scene from this most recent episode. I don't remember exactly what I said to Schwartz, but I don't think it was that bad.
It says, fuck you, blocking your number. Go choke on Sandoval's dirty ass dicks. Jesus. I don't know, first episode, let us know if that's how you like to
the ASMR? Go choke on Sandoval's dirty ass dicks. Carolyn, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a perfect way to end. We do an ASMR of a scene every time.
Yeah, of a scene every time.
We did it.
Shaking hands.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you all for
watching.
watching. And we're going to do an episode every week. Next week, we're going to talk about episode 2. We want to hear what you think. Follow us on Instagram. Listen to us wherever we are able to figure out how to post because we're new at this. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.